Hello everyone, welcome back to Loren the Amazon Princess. Look, we have 5 hearts with Loren. We can romance Loren. Okay, let's go. The Citadel is at its weakest. Loren looked completely unfocused. Ma'am? The Amazons have always been prepared for war. They've always been ready and willing and strong. You're worried about your people. Of course I'm worried. I'm relying on my sisters to dictate the tide of the war. You sound like a real Amazon leader now. Excuse me? I didn't before? I mean, now you're concerned about the welfare of your people. It's my fault that I let this happen. I should have been there. I could have stopped whoever poisoned us. I could have killed them right then. It is not your fault, Loren. Don't blame yourself. I can if I want to. Wrong answer, but sure. You would have gotten ill like your sisters if you had been there. Instead, you are healthy so that you may help them. Loren looked away, conceding that she would have gotten sick if she was at the Citadel, but secretly believing that she would have killed the rats responsible before they poisoned anyone. We should break camp soon. Aw, she doesn't want a romance. What? Okay, we'll do it later, when we've fixed everything in the Citadel. Draco, talk to me. No. Okay. Oh, actually, does Ray want to talk? Have you been enjoying your time with us so far? I must say, it's been rather enjoyable. First, I thought this excursion would be like my mercenary work in the past, walking long distances, shooing away the vermin that steps in our way. I'm happily mistaken. Hunting demons that are plotting to take over the world? Oh, that strays from a fairy tale, and I'm part of it. What's more, our targets are some of the toughest I've faced. Not quite as impressive as some of my past kills, but since I've already dealt with the worst, what more can you expect? You've dealt with stronger foes? Maybe a few. So yeah, I'm quite satisfied with our hunting. Though we could stand for some longer breaks in between kills. A little rest and recuperation goes a long way. We already take many breaks at camp. Referring to inns in the city, soft beds, professional food, fresh company. Oh, okay, sure, I'll romance him. Fresh company? Elnor's face dropped, knowing he likely meant women. Ray picked up on her disapproval. Ah, that came out rather wrong, didn't it? I don't blame you. I painted myself this way. May I tell you a story? I'll make it short. There once was an elf who lived in a forest, who had seen every elf woman there was to see. Tall, short, blonde, dark, all of them. And then one day an elf walks past the forest, and she's unlike any he has ever seen. She disappears, so when the elf finds her again one day, he makes sure that he does not lose her a second time. Elnor swallowed as Ray's eyes softened while looking upon her. And? There's no more. His voice dropped to a whisper. No more? It is a work in progress. Shall I keep you updated as I go along? Oh my god. Elnor bit her lip and faced away. Oh! Yeah. I missed some opportunities for romance, but I mean, it's still fun sometimes. Ray sat by the campfire with one of his arms completely bare. He took several red flowers and began crushing them into a bowl next to him. This intrigued Eleanor, and she crept closer to spy what he was doing. The crushed flowers had made a dye, in which Ray dipped his fingers and began drawing a line starting from his wrist and straight up to his shoulder. It looked cosmetic, but she had never seen him do it before. After a few final touches, Ray disposed of the dye and recovered his arm. Eleanor could not help herself anymore, and she had to ask. I'm sorry, but what were you just doing? As always, we'll need my aim perfectly straight tomorrow. He gestured the act of firing a crossbow, but his explanation had explained nothing. What? My arm was twisted today. Elnor blinked. It needs a speedy recovery. The more Ray acted like Elnor should have understood him, the more she wished she did. Please don't tell me you've never seen an elf mark himself before. Which makes it sound like he's peeing on himself, but okay. Elnor went blank at hearing the term, as if she held a memory of such drawings on elves, but it was too deep in the past to recall. Ray's incredulous look melted as he started to take pity on her. I was joking, but it's true, isn't it? I have lived too much of my life as an Amazon slave. Please don't hold it against me. Ray was silent for a moment as Elnor looked away. He eventually walked towards her and revealed his arm again to her. She was almost too embarrassed to look at it now. It is a mark. It has been part of elven culture since the beginning of time. This symbol that I've drawn is meant to guide the healing spirits to my arm. At least, hopefully. They usually appease me. I think I understand. You take that red flower, make a dye, and draw on your body where it hurts? Yes and no. Marks can be anything. It is a whole other language. You really don't know any of this, do you? I suppose not. There was a long silence as he studied her with new eyes. What is an elf without their culture? Or their tribe? Or their very freedom, for that matter? They were silent again. Eleanor seemed to be blinking away tears after suddenly feeling a giant hole ripped into her very existence. She had not been expecting this. Not now. If I may ask, do you ever feel the land speak to you? I don't even know what you mean. I see. Eleanor took in a shuddering breath. She was determined to not let this conversation undo her. Would you like to learn? Learn? I think you should learn. The prospect of learning her roots, and essentially herself, was the most tempting offer she ever heard. But it was Ray who was offering it. After the ordeal that they had just been through, could she trust herself to him? What would that entail? All I ask for is one night in the forest alone. What? No! Not with me. Completely alone by yourself. You'll learn more than you'd expect. I'm so sure of it. I promise you that you will. A night in the forest is not a great challenge. So, you will do this? Yes. Very well. Meet me by the edge of the clearing at dusk. Ooh, this is a whole new adventure. What? Nightfall came, and Eleanor made her way to the edge of the forest, just as Ray had instructed. She was dubious about what was about to happen, but her hunger for her personal identity outweighed that. She was relieved to find Ray without a smirk or devious look on him. Instead, he appeared even more serious than in battle. I was fearful you would not trust me enough to show up. We are friends, remember? Friends? Yes, I'm sorry. I wasn't sure if you meant that. I am relieved that you did. After all, here you are. Is it odd that I showed up? Because I can turn right back around. He laughed and shook his head. No, you're mine now. I'm joking. Laugh. Eleanor forced a smirk. Ray then turned towards a nearby tree and pounced up in the blink of an eye. Where are you going? I can't follow you up there. You can't? Really? All else know how to tree run. Really? Yes, of course. First you learn to walk, then you learn to climb, and then how to talk. Really, you never learned? Eleanor could only hear him chuckle as he had completely disappeared in the canopy. I think you're pulling my leg. You shouldn't lie to me right now if you're sensitive about trust. So convinced that was a lie, are you? Never mind, the sun is setting. Follow me into the woods. I cannot follow you, I just said so. Just follow my voice. He already sounded far ahead of her, prompting her to stagger blindly into the woods to catch up. He continued to ramble to her, and they winded deeper and deeper in the forest. She could not even remember which way was camp anymore. There was nothing but trees all around her for as far as she could see. And even that was dwindling with the sun. The thickness of the forest blotted out most of the moonlight as well. Ray had stopped speaking, and she stopped moving. Ray? Where are we? You must spend the night here. Sleep? In the middle of the forest with no one standing watch? No light or bedding? And no weapons. Excuse me? You're doing this for yourself, remember? You've lived in a stone building for most of your life, from what you've told me. That is no way for an elf to live. Spend just one night like our ancestors. Just one, and you may find what separates us from humans. Eleanor was torn, wishing nothing more than to be back at the warm campfire again where she knew she belonged. The forest was not her home. And what if I do stay the night here? What then? She heard a crack behind her, and she instinctively reached for her sword. But she resisted, even though it took most of her willpower not to draw it. Ray? He still did not answer her. Several moments later, she was sure that he had abandoned her. Now I'm really alone. I'm sure I'll be fine. Probably. It was impossible for her to fall asleep from jumping at every sound that she heard. She even called to see if it was Ray who had returned, but it was not. She even dared to draw her sword when she thought she was in mortal danger, but the monster was nothing other than a tame deer. Nothing had hurt her, and she could not believe it. Eventually, she did find an ounce of sleep while leaning against a tree. When she opened her eyes in the morning, she saw a different forest before her. It was the same place, but it looked different. Everything was coated amber in the light of a sunrise, and she could see farther. She could hear the birds around her and smell the morning dew. She had expected Ray to come find her, but he did no such thing. Even with the sun high in the sky, she was still where she was left. She did not wish to panic, but the realization that she was lost, or even stranded, ran through her mind. She desperately tried to find her way back to camp, but she went in circles. She was tired and now afraid. She cursed her knowledge and regretted every decision in her life to not learn tracking skills. In a moment of true defeat, she was silent and heard something she thought she only imagined. It sounded like the wind had spoken to her. What? What was that? She felt blown in a certain direction. The leaves rustled and fell as if they were trying to tell herself. Okay. She could not believe it. She convinced herself that she was delusional from lack of sleep. But she could not deny that it seemed as if the forest was speaking to her. I'm lost. Was it too silly to ask a tree a question? It didn't feel silly when she spoke it, because it answered. She could hear the trees bend and moan. She was drawn to a straight thoroughfare in the forest. The chirping birds, buzzing insects, every breeze and fallen leaf seemed to guide her. She would have been a fool to trust the whim of the wilds, if it had not landed her in the same clearing that she had started out in yesterday. Her heart swelled into her throat from seeing camp. She had made it back, even though she could not explain why. But she ran to the campsite and found everyone enjoying breakfast, or perhaps even lunch. She did not know, but she did know that Ray was among them without a care in the world. They all stopped eating when they saw Eleanor stumble forward, leaves and twigs all about her person. Whoa, what in the blazes happened to you? Did a tree attack you? Where have you been all morning? Yes, where? She ignored the comments and darted right for Ray. Was that you? Did you just trick me? Tell me. What was what me? I've been here the whole time. He's not set foot outside of camp. I thought you said she was going for supplies. Everything that had just happened inside the forest was real. She had never experienced such a connection with nature before. It was real. I got lost. So we're not getting more bacon? This just ruins everything. Ray stood up to leave, but Eleanor caught his arm, still desperate for answers. He met her gaze. Everything? Now you know what it means to truly be an elf. She was dumbfounded by the simple statement, but it was true. Everything that he said would happen did, and she felt a little more whole because of it. Maybe a lot more whole. Maybe completely whole. Ray... Her voice unexpectedly wavered, and she swallowed. Thank you. The party continued to eat and chat at blaring levels, but there was still a silence between the two of them. Ray did not hold a drop of smugness. He just took her in, twigs and all. Just before they lingered too long, Ray smirked and sprang into a walk. Lesson number 2, tree climbing. What? No! Did you hear me? No! I'm not shambling up trees with you. He pretended not to hear her. Oh my god, we got more Ray affection. Okay, apparently we're just going for all the Ray affection in this episode. Instead of romancing Loren, because, she wants us to heal the people in the Citadel first, of course. Okay, more Ray, apparently. This is the episode of Ray. I'm curious. I know we've been down this path before, but I hope you'll find some leniency for me. Whoops. Since I'm asking you directly this time. You're going to ask me about my nature again, aren't you? Well, yes. You're very intimate with the Amazon royalty. Why does that bother you? You're going to make me say, aren't you? Eleanor sighed. You're attracted to all kinds of people. You're attracted to women only. Oh. I'm getting the sense that he's attracted to women only. Or at least, preference women. Oh, I don't know. Okay, let's save, because I want to do the right answer. I've never had a chance to explain. Oh! We're answering for ourselves! Oh! In that case, I definitely got the right answer. We were answering for Eleanor. Eleanor is attracted to all kinds of people. My Eleanor is totally pan. Absolutely. I've never had a chance to explore my nature before. For most of my life, I lived only for my mistress. It has been only recently that I was allowed to connect with others. There is so much beauty in this world. I'm enjoying the connections I am making with everybody. Including me? Eleanor smirked. Especially you. Coming from you, that is the most flattering compliment I've ever heard. And that is a difficult achievement. Don't press your luck now. Why not? I've been extremely lucky thus far. When did you lose your elf tribe? I was a young child. How young? Did you take a mark of passage? No, I don't think so. So very young. Ray looked at Eleanor with deep concern. I can't imagine how it must have been to be separated from them. Then to become a slave? I indentured myself to the Citadel. I had nowhere else to go. Why didn't you come to the forest? Some tribe would have adopted you. I was young. The orcs were on my heels, and the lands of the Empire lied behind me. There was really only one route for me. When the war is over, I'm sure you can return to the forest now. Assimilation is common. I belong in the Citadel, and I do not know if I will be free to make that choice. You should be. If you're not, then I'll steal you away. You belong with your people, not those that enslaved you. Eleanor leaned back from his earnestness. He genuinely wanted her to be a free elf. You should join my tribe. Your? And Mirth's, but she doesn't count since she's a druid. But yeah, my tribe would be the best for you. The Copperleafs reside in Grand Tree, so we're the most worldly of the tribes. It would be perfect for an outsider. I'm the leader of the scouts there, so I can give you a way to earn a living. You must promise to not outrank me, however. I'll have to devote time to showing you the terrain and the trees. But it would be worth it to have another scout capable of tree running. Ray? Huh? I haven't agreed to any of that yet. Ray just stared at Eleanor for a moment, his smile dropping. When you want to be in a tribe with me? Eleanor's mouth went dry, looking at the injury now forming on Ray's face. Maybe. It does sound very nice. But that's a long way away. I'll make decisions about my future when the future comes. It's still too early to tell anything yet. Ray took in a long breath. I understand. Of course. You'll make your own decision when the time comes. Eleanor nodded, allowing Ray to turn away. Okay, now he's done. Ray says that all elves climb trees like he does. Is that true? He said that, did he? No, they do not. It's a childhood sport to be sure, but is rarely used professionally like he has. It takes quite an extensive knowledge of the trees to be able to navigate them so quickly. I knew he wasn't telling the complete truth. He's a bit odd, I'll admit. He's always discouraged people from tree running. He says he likes to have the trees to himself. So he's conflicting with himself again. I don't understand why, however. A little territorial, isn't he? He has to be the best? Mirth covered her mouth as she giggled. What? It sounds like he's growing up. Eleanor blinked and looked over at Ray from across the camp. Focus on the task at hand. Yeah, she wants to break camp. Hey, come here. Again? Is this about Dora too? What? How'd you know? Have you asked her if she likes you yet? You keep saying that like it's easy to do. You must think me some dwarven god. It's not my place. I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was so difficult for you. You got me. I need your help with her. I want to know that I like her, but, well, I just can't go out and say it. I get sweaty and my voice stops working, and then she says something all pretty like, and, oh, blast it. I got her something. I want you to get it to her for me. Ramos pulled out a large bright sapphire from his pockets. It glimmered seductively in the light, and Eleanor knew that this was something that Dora would fall head over heels for. Is that your family gemstone? Did you finally get out of the axe? You bet I did. And I want Dora to have it. It's your family's crest. Are you sure you want to part with it? For Dora? Of course. Is this a dwarven mating ritual I don't know about? Mating ritual? What kind of person do you think I am? It's just a gift. If you say so. Well, yeah, I do. If it's not too big a deal, I'll ask someone else to give it to her. If it is too big a deal. And you definitely won't give it to her yourself? Ramos gave her a long look instead of answering. Are you gonna help me or not? Huh. I mean, honestly, I think he should do it. I'm sorry, but I don't feel comfortable doing this for you. Huh. Ask a friend a favor and this is what I get. Just because you don't help me doesn't mean I'm gonna reconsider you. You're still not my type. Fine, be that way. Oh, hi again. Nothing's new with me. Dark magic has stricken the Citadel. Our enemies are growing clever. They have learned our base operations, and so our time of relative safety is growing short. Are you prepared? I've been preparing every day since the old war was won. Really? Why? You killed Faust. Did you think he was going to remain dead? At first I think I did, but I was so maddened by the end, by what it took to win the war. I could not celebrate and live in peace. I was not allowed that. I spent the days after returning to Grimoire studying Faust's kind and the realms. Days transformed into years, and now 40 years have passed. Why couldn't you celebrate? What happened at the end of the war that bothered you so much? Well, you know, except for the fact that his daughter sacrificed herself. My daughter. I lost my daughter. Eleanor, we already know this. Come on. Was I supposed to celebrate after having her ripped from me? I had to know what happened to her. Had to find out what I could do to help her. She died. No, I cannot give up hope. Eleanor frowned, not knowing what to say to a man who would not concede that his daughter was dead after so long. This is really weird, because, like, I mean, we've already done his personal quest, after which he's come to term with that his daughter is dead. So, this is weird that he's, like, back on square one. Oh, man. Is he not gonna give her the thingy now? Oh, it would have been so fun, though, to give it to Dora and see her reactions, though. Oh, man. But I don't really feel like replaying all the race stuff just to, I don't know. Wait, I can do this, though. No, I can't go back further. No. Okay. Stop. Okay. But I still think it's the right decision. Like, he should give her the thingy himself. He should. He should. Hopefully he will. Like, game-wise. Oh yeah, that's the personal quests. Hey, we're doing pretty good. These two, I think, are DLCs. And I think I have the DLCs. If I do, we'll play them after the main game. So, alright, now we actually have time. Okay, let's go to Chambara. Loren didn't knock this time and attempted to catch Chambara off guard, no matter how dangerous that was. We have them. We have all the ingredients. Really? Are you sure? Eleanor laid out the bone of the Death Knight, the heart of the Goblin Champion, and the fang of the Inferno Hound on the table. Wow, you really did. You figured out how to read dark magic recipes. Took me a while to learn. Chambara seemed genuinely impressed at the speed and accuracy of the group's combined knowledge. Okay then, I'll just plop these in and give it a stir, and it should be ready. Now, don't look directly at it, it'll sting your eyes. Loren sat on the edge of her seat, impatient for the potion to be done. There, it's done. Take it and get out of my house. That's not very much. How are we supposed to treat all of the Amazons with this? Put it into the water supply or something like that. It's too potent like this anyway. But this will work? I'm good at what I do. Of course it will work. We should test it on one person first, just to be safe. Being safe would be getting this to all your sick people as soon as possible. You're really going to hold off because you can't trust me? Your choice. We trust you. Eleanor, rush this potion back to the Citadel as fast as you can. Tell Breza what to do with it. We will catch up to you soon. Eleanor took the potion and ran outside, obeying her queen without question. She escaped the swamps untouched and advanced at great speed from the benefit of traveling alone. Eleanor could not have made it sooner to the Citadel, and judging by how grateful Breza was to see her, despite their relationship, she was just in time. By the time Loren and the rest of the group made it to the Citadel, the potion had been administered, and the signs of recovery were promising. Your Highness, I do not know how you managed to cure the plague, but it is subsiding. It should be safe for you and your friends to enter again. Yeah, we cured the plague! Yeah. Everyone leveled up except Loren, Dora, and Mirth. No. Oh, we're gonna have 15 skill. Awesome. I'll probably already have that, but... Okay. Oh, we can restore stamina spell points. Long delay, though. Mental resistance. Removes 3 turns of any negative condition from an ally. Time needed 12. Holy moly. 12, 10, 12, 2, 5. I'll go with this one. Yep, neutralize one. Apparently he needs strength. Oh my god, yes, Blizzard. Please, yes, Blizzard 3, yes. You can have whatever you want. You can also auto-assign. Sure. Oh no! I want him to have more oh, I didn't realize. Okay. Well, damn it. Oh, I could have reset. Oh, crap. Oh, well. Okay, here I genuinely don't care. He has... Oh, no, he doesn't. Yes. Okay, we gotta get that on Ramos as well. Genuinely don't care, so don't use you. Boom. Yeah, reach 50 skill! All the Amazons are well? Not well, Your Grace, but getting better. It will still take some time for them all to fully recover. But what about the war? We need our troops to march on Everburn. Loren, do not rush the recovery process. You need your sisters at their best. The war may have to wait. But for how long am I to wait? We'll follow you whenever you command, Your Majesty. Loren frowned, knowing that she could not ask the ailing to fight for her so soon. Arrival! Generals from the Empire! General Samael and Astran entered the Citadel and greeted Loren. You're here, and looking none the worse for wear. I heard that the Amazons had gotten sick. Did you need aid? We can send you our doctors. Thank you, General. We have dealt with the problem, and we are now recovering. Great, because I came to announce that the blasted Council has finally gotten off their high horse. City of Horrors put a lot of pressure on the Council, but it was my testimony that sealed it. They've allowed me the power to grant someone the role of Supreme Commander of our army. That's fortunate news. You come to grant Loren her request in person, then? Yes, I am here on behalf of the Empire to allow you the highest authority over my and Ashtran's forces. Use them well. I will. And the elves? The elven ambassador visited while you were out, Majesty. He gave me this. Breza retrieved a wand covered in leaves with a jewel on the end. That is... the scepter of the Weald! Mirth took the stick and turned it upright, presenting it officially to Loren. It signifies the leader of the protectors of the forest, which means you control all elven troops. The elders have agreed to grant me their military as well? That makes 2. You have united the armies. Loren gripped the scepter firmly. So, we have come to the end of it all. Everyone stood in silence, taking in the fact that the greatest battle of their time was very close to reality. Are we prepared to lay siege to the demons? The Amazons still need to recover their strength, but we will march on your orders. If there's anything we need to accomplish before seeking out Faust, we should do it now. This is the end of Chapter 3. In Chapter 4, you will not be able to travel the world or use the camp feature. Highly recommend that you finish your business with your party members. You've had one more chance to purchase items in Chapter 4, but you will not be able to travel to the shops you've seen thus far. Let the Amazons regain their strength. In the meantime, I will complete what is left to be done. Yes, Your Grace. I will be here awaiting your orders. Advance to Chapter 4. Speak with Brezza in the castle, Citadel's castle. Alright. We have to shop. I don't know. I still want to know what happens if you get fame in a city. Like, can you get an amount of fame and something happens? I want to romance Loren. You know, we have stuff to do. We have a lot of potions to buy. Okay, we definitely have to go everywhere. All the shops and just buy all the potions. Just like, yes. All the potions. Actually, what we could do is actually sell all of our jewels, because we don't really do anything with them. I mean, they sell for half price, but... yeah. Yeah, no. Okay, yeah. But that's next episode. Okay, I actually want to save game in camp. Oh. Well, almost. Eleanor stood on the edge of a steep cliff, looking down to the ravine. Since they had made camp, she had been drawn to it. Now she stared into its depths and swamped herself with her thoughts. The Grand World Army formed below, and she could see how it spanned for leagues. It was a force she had never seen before, but then she had seen very little in her life. Eleanor had hoped to see more before the end. If Everburn was truly the end. In her heart, it felt like it would be. If it came down to it, she would easily sacrifice herself for the good of Aravorn. There was no question about it. The dirt was astir behind her, and she turned dully to see the figured Amukiki standing not far behind her. Neither said a word to the other. Eleanor returned to look down at the army, but it was too late. Her thoughts were now about the gladiator. Silently, Amukiki stepped up beside her to share the view. The army is strong. We will win the war. I know. Amukiki faced her. Eleanor turned slightly in the opposite direction. Do you? With Loren, I'm sure of it. Victory is sealed. He continued to stare at her as if he didn't completely believe her. You needn't look like that. He did not look away. The whole of the world may win, but not one victory is assured for any of us. We all have our own individual battles out there, and we have to face those alone. What is your battle? Eleanor focused on the small figures assembling below. I want a life that is my own, not anyone else's. I want to be a free elf, not an Amazon, not a slave. You are free. Only as free as you. We're prisoners in our own culture, remember? I may not be a servant anymore, but I still belong at the Citadel. It is either return to that, or... death, she refused to say. I want to return to my tribe ever since I was exiled. I wanted to fold when the Ember Blade rejected me and return a broken man. I was to pledge to serve Princess Loren, end the war, and return to the south. That has all changed. It has changed because now I am truly a free man. Loren looked over and met Amukiki's gaze. How? I have stopped thinking with only my mind. It gave me many rules and obligations. It told me what I must do, not what I want to do. I must serve the princess, I must be the sword bearer, I must win tournaments, I must return to my tribe. You didn't want to do any of those things? Want was never a factor. I did what I needed to do, but I did not choose them freely. I must not want them. You spoke so highly of your nomad tribe, so I cannot believe that you don't want to return to them. That's what all this was about, wasn't it? Every tournament you won, all the honor and glory you tried to claim? You said it was to bring you back home. Home? Makiki was mystified by the word, causing him to look off into the distance. Nomads don't have homes, do they? No, they do not. It doesn't matter. Everyone's needs and wants will vanish if the demons take over Aravorn. We may worry about our future after the war. If we can. Eleanor let out a long breath, and Makiki turned back to him. Get your sword and meet me in the sparring circle. Gladiator left sharply. Elnor looked at him as he walked away, insulted that he would give her an order, not a request. Elnor chuckled, shuffled, shook her head, opened her mouth to shout back a retort, closed it again, swallowed, and then finally just got her sword and met Amakiki in the sparring circle. At the very least, Elnor had hoped that he would be surprised to see that she showed up at all, but he wasn't. Amakiki was merely doing warm-ups and greeted her with no words. Just as wordlessly, they stood across from each other and prepared for a match. Because, in the end, he was right. Elnor needed this. Not only to take her mind off of her thoughts, but to sharpen her skills. Even as a thief, she needed this. It wasn't about strength in battle or learning to dodge or parry. Elnor needed the confidence and heart to face what was to come. It was almost as if Amakiki knew how much of that she lacked as he initiated round after round of sparring, not stopping until the dead of night, not until they were ready to collapse of thirst and exhaustion. But their thoughts remained and nothing was solved. They both looked forlorn at each other as they caught their breath. Elnor began to ponder the distinction between obligation and desire, and if she wanted to continue to serve Loren, or if she wanted to remain at the Citadel. Amakiki drank deeply from a bowl of water and then poured some of it on his fresh wounds. Instinctively, Elnor stepped forward to heal him with her magic. She placed a hand on Amakiki's arm, causing him to close his eyes. Before she could summon magic, the gladiator's hand was on top of her hand. The touch almost froze time. But it didn't, and Amakiki pulled Elnor's hand from him. Give me these scars. I want them. Elnor parted her lips to question him, but all they managed to do was trade long looks. Amakiki's hand was coarse against her own, yet it wasn't unpleasant. Elnor's exhaustion was replaced by a deep burning in the pit of her stomach. Eventually, Amakiki let go of her hand and broke away in silence. What Amakiki really wanted from life seemed even more a mystery, but now one that Elnor needed to find out more than ever. Okay, intense. Alright, this is where we save. I'm gonna save there. So, right, this is where we save. And continue next time doing, I don't know, running around doing different stuff, stocking up, I don't know, doing weird random stuff. Before we go to Chapter 4, Everburn. The final, battles, and if I have the DLCs, which I think I have, but if I have them, we're gonna play them as well. Anyways, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see ya!